Niggas is back.
Sort of.
With a white guy. Niggas is black.
Ho. Earmuffs Davis.
With a white guy. As always, it's the Black Rasslin Podcast, giving y'all wrestling.
Earmuffs Davis.
From a nigga perspective. With a white guy. It's your boy Cal, rockthedub.com, but you already know. As you can see in here, the squad is on the line. Please say what's good to the people, y'all.
You're IlFam79 on your social media of choice, aka Montez Ford Explorer. You already know.
That's good.
Trucking you hoes.
That's good.
And I'm obviously not Matth Damon. I'm David.
Y'all look the same bump around the ear.
Boy Drip.
Hey,
Davey Boy Drip.
Stat guy.
Tokyo Davis. Yeah.
ERP pod, yep.
I will say. No, what you about to say? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's not diversity day, so this one doesn't count. This is me. Like I said in the first appearance, I was coming for one of your spots, and
damn. I don't know. We got you. Better chill, Davis. I don't know what Matth is liable to do when y'all are finally in the same space. Now, Matth had a situation. He had to take care of some business, so shouts out to Davis for stepping up.
Free Math. Oh,
big facts. And actually, Davis mentioned the stats, and hopefully you guys are checking out the site, trying something different with the stats. I'd like putting them on social media, but we been trying to really make the stats pop, adding a little more context to the episodes, as well as giving you, the video version of it at the same time. If you fuck with it, let us know in blackwrestling.com. Black Rasslin on YouTube, SoundCloud, wherever. Fuck it. Before we get into anything pressing for this week, I do want to say that for the last year, there have been a lot of women on the WWE roster that people have been calling the best. Becky had 2 belts. There was a lot of people love Charlotte. A lot of people they want upstarts like Bianca Belair. People love Sasha Banks, but
Io Shirai.
I came to the Io Shirai, but she might there's an asterisk because she gone. I'm just kidding. We'll see her again soon. But I think after the research that I did today in regards to who's really been the most savage and most impactful woman on the WWE roster, it is nobody but Bayley. Bayley, her reign of terror started September 2nd. It was early September. That was the day that Sasha Banks was beating Becky with the chair, and then Bayley came to the ring and she grabbed the chair from Sasha's hands, and they get that look. And they're like, what the fuck's going on? Da, 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 da. Finally, Becky said, fuck it. I'm going to start hitting her with the damn chair, too. And then maybe, I guess it was a month and a half later, she had chopped her hair. She deflated the buddies, and it was Rap City.
Yo, what did she stab them the buddies with? She had like an axe without the handle or something.
Yeah, it was
weird tool.
Yeah.
She like New Jack had the Wolverine claw. She came with.
It was like a handle with a weird blade.
Yeah. It was like a blade. It looked like it was 2 blades, but they were kind of skinny and sticking out from different angles. I don't know. I can't explain it.
Triple H walked up on her like, I need you to stab someone tonight. And she was like, who? Wacky waving the inflatable arm flailing tube man. Wacky waving the inflatable arm flailing tube man.
Whatever the situation was, not only has she been I think the playlist, it was a playlist, it was like 10 minutes long, and I think they called it her most brutal moments or something like that. But like, not only has she been physically dominating, she's legit, and I mean this in all seriousness, one of the best like professional wrestling characters on television right now. I am not entertained by anybody as much as I am with heel Bayley. Anytime she comes to the ring, its immediate attitude, no matter if you're cheering for her or not. She looks at the announced deaths, and immediately she got every one of them. She got individual like she just, for whatever reason, she realized, okay, I could be this badass, and she said, "Fuck, I'm going on." MJF goes in like that. There's a couple of people that really seem to know their character and exude it, whether you like it or not. And I think, to MJF's point, the fact that people legit think that he's a dickhead when his character is that he's a dickhead. I don't know. I'm saying a lot. I'm just saying I don't think anybody's realistically impressed me as much as Bayley has in this heel turn. And it's just crazy to think that it's been a calendar year since it went down.
I think it's kind of ill from a Bret Hart guy that he's as impressed with this run is because the reason why this run is what it is compared to all the other women is she is the only one that has been as consistent outside of the ring as she's been inside of the ring. There have been better people outside of the ring. There have been better people inside of the ring, but there haven't been a better combination of the two in all of women's wrestling.
Exactly.
And that leans more on the Shawn Michaels side of the game. We'll get into that another day.
You know what it is? Realistically, I think the thing is I think Bayley's character for me is a character that I enjoy more than a Shawn Michaels. Even when Shawn Michaels was heel, that shit was cool, but it was also kind of like you're a grown-ass man playing 14, 15-year-old little teenager boy. Like, it was very sophomoric humor. And I think Bayley's just the ultimate. I'm trying to think of she's not as harsh as an MJF, although when I think back to like the Lacey Evans stuff, in like a WWE way, that might have been the most MJF she's ever been, blurring lines and being on social media and things like that. But even still, to think that was in January, I totally forgot about that until I saw her attack Lacey in this playlist. Like she's really.
Can we all agree that we all hate Lacey Evans?
Yeah.
I don't. How could you like her?
Yeah.
I mean, this her forgotten son. Then, yeah.
That makes
It's great.
sense.
I think the one point that Fam makes is the one thing that always is the knock for Bayley. I noticed in the conversations between Bayley and Sasha that are going to be heating up now because they're going to be feuding. The idea was that. Well, I've seen a lot of people say they rock with Sasha more, but when they talk about Sasha, they talk about match quality, which is a very important thing. But I think that right now, that's the only thing Sasha has over Bayley.
Yeah.
She has better matches, but I think when it's time to deliver the promo, Sasha's great. I think Bayley's just like she's in a pocket right now. She's been in a pocket for a while, not the whole year, but I think promo wise, probably since like the Lacey stuff, I would say maybe, end of December, maybe January sometime, whenever that started. She was on that road since, and it's what? September?
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. No.
I like Pam. Pam's dope. Dopest beard in the game.
Wow.
And no. But nah, she's really she really got in her bag. Heel Bayley. They made us realize how trash face Bayley is.
That was because that's the other thing. I was never really a fan of.
That's what I was just about to say is that when I think it's so good is because she's doing heel for the first time, really.
Yeah.
And if you look at Roman Reigns doing the same thing right now, he's clicking like how she was clicking right away.
Yeah, but I'm going to be honest. This is a different conversation, and Bayley is cool. Roman is in his bag right now.
Oh no,
Roman is
later.
Yeah.
But is that when you've been babyface basically your entire run and you finally get that chance to switch? You've probably had years and years of like, here's what I'm going to do and here's how I'm going to be. And Bayley did that, and Roman's doing that right now. They had all that energy.
I was going to say it's not even a conversation we have. Like that's a perfect transition. I think the idea, and Bayley may have said this, but I think the concept of, and I know I've heard Brian Alvarez talk about it. Like the ceiling on the Bayley character was really low.
Oh yeah.
And I think not just the transition to the heel, but the way she's done it. This is a character that you can have ebbs and flows. She could be a little more face if she wants to be. She could be a lot more like the way she beat up Sasha. That was, levels above even her beating up, when they were fighting with the Kabuki Warriors. She took it to a different level. So I think there's a lot of longevity with this that we're probably just seeing, the very early chapters of what this character could really be. And I think when you talk about Roman, it's definitely key that he's heel. I know I feel like we've had conversations over the years or speculation about, well, what if he did turn heel at some point? Would it make sense? I know because Fam and I have had a lot of conversations, but I'm actually kind of sad that Matt's not here because I wanted to say, like, ratings wise on SmackDown, they said the biggest drivers are Bayley and Roman Reigns, and it makes sense because they're the two doing the best things on the roster right now, and I think a big part of it is the fact that they're able to let loose and try something different. Probably try something they've been wanting to do for a while.
Yeah, I think the thing with her is just she comes in and her offense is believable, which is always key.
Right.
So you're working on top,
mm-hmm.
and you can beat somebody up, and you look like they're kind of leaning into the Karen look.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of dope elements. She's really more comparable to Seth Rollins for me because he's got the same problem. Is as a face he flounders. We don't care. But like he's a great heel, great piece of crap heel. When he was working back when he was working with Sting and they did the stuff with the statue and all of that stuff. It's like you love to hate this nigga more than you like this nigga. I don't like this nigga ever.
I don't like him.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if I love. I personally, I think that might be the one. What was the conversation that was going on the other day? The wrestlers you
the irrationally hate list.
Irrationally hate.
Randy Orton.
I'm following right. I think I have an irrational hatred for Triple H. I've never liked him, and I've never had a reason. It's just like fuck him.
Kevin Nash, Jeff Jarrett.
Kevin Nash?
Yeah.
I don't hate on Nash. It's Triple H. Some people would probably say Adam Cole, but I don't care enough about Adam Cole to say that.
I think it's more. I think you hate Adam Cole more than you hate Triple H.
I hate the idea of everybody thinking I need to love Adam Cole. That's what it's a reaction to the overwhelming 10 out of 10 rating that everybody gives him. Like, why? He's good. Yeah, he's good.
Because it's true. I mean,
he's good. He's good.
Good. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think Mount Hayden is a topic that obviously I can even go on. Like the Miz I should never like the Miz because he delivers a good promo, which is his shitty acting, being like, I'm gonna tell you this right now, like on the like, or that he improves in the ring. Like, no, that's only like once every year. And other than that, like he still doesn't catch no one when they fall. So how can I like this guy when everything he does is just still mid card and he wants to cry up to Big E about not getting opportunities? It's like, you had the opportunity once.
So I think this is the why I always like kind of bought into the Miz character is because Miz is the personification of the ignorance of white privilege.
Yeah.
Like when he had that conversation with Big E that you brought up, it was dope when he was like, nah, nigga, you don't get it. Nigga, Kofi had to go through X, Y, and Z because he wasn't looked at because of, you know what I'm saying, the color of his skin. Where, nigga, you are a great mid-card heel, and you were the WWE champion. And he kind of had to give him game, and it took, I think, an off-camera conversation. Because when they came back the second week, and Mike was like, well, tell me more. Tell me what I don't know. What have I been doing these years?
God, he finally wanted to understand.
Yeah, and this is a guy who came from reality TV lost tough enough, but he still got the contract anyway because he was a known guy from somewhere else and had the ability to speak on camera better than everyone else from that era in terms of like newcomers. And he, like Kofi came in right away, was working from day one, and his character needed to work overtime. That's because they saddled him with a Jamaican accent that he didn't have. Then they Triple H, again, fuck Triple H, exposes that on TV to be an asshole. And then at that time, The Miz is getting opportunity after opportunity. He wins tag titles, mid-card titles, and Kofi's struggling to win titles off and on.
He was winning a lot of tag titles.
No, I'm saying off and on. Like they give him and Matt Bourne, Evan Bourne, Matt Sydal team up. Then that team ends. Then he teams with R-Truth. And after that, it's like
he was with Dunk the Clown.
That's what I.
Yeah.
As soon as I said that point, I'm like, oh, that's the wrong guy.
I did want to mention. I don't watch Being the Elite, but I did want to. I heard Meltzer talking about the segment that they did with because last week we talked about Matt Sydal, the botchy
ball.
The Being the Elite after All Out, I guess whatever episode that was, they worked a whole storyline into Matt Sydal's botch that involved what is his name? Michael
Nakazawa.
Yes, Michael Nakazawa. I thought I was going to butcher it, and I didn't want to sound crazy. So they see exactly. They built a whole angle with Michael Nakazawa and Matt Sydal over Michael wanting to be the Joker in their battle royal. I don't know. It's kind of clever that they were able to play it up, but it is
to cover up for him being high and slipping.
I mean, that spice is a hell of a drug. It's also kind of indicative of the weird spot they're in that they have to spend so much of their internet show explaining the stuff that they can't because they only have one real show.
That's all it is.
A weird nigga takes spice.
Matt Sydal.
I'm definitely not calling him anything but Evan Airborne, by the way.
Evan Airborne. I rewatched the OMG moment with him catching the RKO out of nowhere, out of the air.
Well, what's better? What's a better RKO? That or Seth?
Seth, I think. Because I watched that live and I was like, holy shit. Like,
well, see, I remember
both of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was live for the Evan Bourne. I remember I probably would have to dig into the archives and see if I could find the episode. I remember talking about that on an early edition. I might start uploading those as lost episodes. That might be something I need to do. I'd have to figure out the music because they're just straight up whole songs.
Whole music that's licensed and whatever.
Each episode would have like 3 or 4 songs on it. It'd be like, what did I like this Action Bronson song this week? Yeah, let me put it in there. But I would put music. It was actually kind of fly. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I watched the Evan Airborne getting RKO'd, and that shit was clean.
Mm-hmm.
That actually turned 10. I think it was July 2010. That's a 10-year-old clip if you could find that. It was super clean. Like Randy, he stood up at the right moment to catch him with the RKO. It was a really dope moment. But I will like the Seth one
because it took work from both of them. And
it was
that's why I think it's better because Seth steps right up and then like goes.
He went. He levitated. I remember watching that live too. He levitated.
That's the first day I got the network. Was that I was like, I didn't have the network that first year. Then I'm like, this WrestleMania card looks good. I'm like, I feel like this will be a top 5 WrestleMania, and I think it is in my opinion.
And then he started floating, and then you thought you saw Jesus, and that's why you fuck with the Monday Night Messiah. Is that what happened?
That's the Messiah born right then and there.
That was a really wild trip you just took there.
Look, all right,
you hopped in the car, and
I'm not new to this.
Warp speed. The Monday.
Some people used to love calling themselves dot connectors. Some of us just do that shit. You know what I'm saying? There was some interesting stuff. Shouts out to Keith Lee for finally being able to do the Keith Lee thing on Raw at the end of whatever you would call the match that him and Drew had. Retribution came out 50 deep Hurt Business, the biggest heels on the brand. They're the only. It's like when the Four Horsemen would come out and fight with somebody.
They came out the jackets. Yo, my nigga, MVP got to stomp somebody with the loafers.
Facts.
MVP
Big facts.
has to stomp somebody with the loafers. All right, because you just did it, right? Who's who? If these are the Horsemen, who's who?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because I saw. I'm sorry, cut anybody up. I saw an image where they compared the Hurt Business and Evolution, and I thought it was a weird mix. I don't know if I'd want. They're closer to
because Ric Flair's MVP. Lashley is Triple H.
That's bad. If Lashley's your Triple H, that's awful.
I was thinking Lashley is Batista.
No, Shelton's Batista.
Batista?
Yeah.
Huge.
So Cedric is Randy Orton. That's what I'm saying.
Those are the so MVP as Flair and
Cedric as Randy.
Cedric as Randy are the absolutes there.
Yeah.
Ced is the young guy and Randy was the young guy.
Too, so he's like him and Shelton is like are the same age.
Like what you guys make sense in like what you're saying in terms of why this person that makes sense, but there's no way you can compare the career of a Shelton Benjamin even to the career of a David. Like it's just like it's not a 1-to-1, and that's not a diss to Shelton. It's just how the things go.
Yeah, you can't compare those two either. But I think Lashley is supposed to be Triple H, but he doesn't have the mic skills.
Lashley is supposed to be Arn Anderson because they are more Four Horsemen than they are Evolution.
Lashley is the enforcer when it comes to who's got to beat the people up.
You got 3 old dudes and a young guy. The young guy is the interchangeable member of the Horsemen.
Yeah,
Cedric would be Sting.
Barry Windham is what you're trying to say, right?
Right, or Luger, or Benoit, or McMichael.
Yeah,
Cedric is that interchangeable nigga. You know what I'm saying? Ole Anderson. That ain't the concrete.
I'm saying Sting. Who's Flair?
Oh, MVP.
MVP is still Flair.
Definitely Flair.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is clearly Flair.
There's an argument for Lashley being Flair, only because Lashley's the only one being groomed for a world title. None of those other ones are in that picture. Lashley's a U.S. title until he's ready to be on that world championship spot.
True, which would make MVP more J.J. Dillon if you are.
That's what I was going to say. Are we going to try to go that far?
If he's J.J. Dillon, you need another black guy though, because that J.J. was never active, like performing part.
Hey.
Maybe. I mean, there are iterations. Like, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't want to call MVP Ole Anderson because he's way more important to.
Ole would be Ole would be Cedric Alexander.
I thought you were going to say Ole would be Shelton Benjamin.
No.
Shelton's the one I feel bad about in this group.
He's Tully.
He is Tully. He is Tully. Wow. Okay. So all right. So Lashley's Arn.
Mm-hmm. P is Rick.
MVP is Rick.
Yep. And then Shelton Benjamin.
Shelton is Tully.
And Cedric Alexander is that rotating fourth member, whoever it was that year.
He'd be Lex Luger's a good one because Lex Luger was heel. He didn't. I don't think Lex turned face until he left the Horsemen. I remember him being a singles heel, and then because I think he was like barely a year in, or something like that, and they brought him to the Horsemen.
I thought Lex only turned face after he was solo and did the thing with Harley Race, where he came in and Harley Race told him to pile drive Barry Windham in that cage.
No, he was a face before because he was partners with Sting for a bit.
I'd say from what I can recall.
When there was because there was like Sting with the dudes with attitudes and shit, and I think Lex was a face sometime around that point, like 90. Yeah, because Lex was feuding with Stan Hansen when Sting was really feuding with Flair, and Hansen. I don't remember if Hansen was ever a face.
Tiny wangers.
She said tiny. I'm sorry. Go. Did I need to put? That's one I need to put on.
Oh yeah,
on YouTube, but I can't put. I want to put video throughout it. I can't. They will kill it. WWE would murder that.
Well,
if there
just
was video through it.
the site directly.
It's on there. There is. If you go to the Black Rasslin SoundCloud, you can find the episode where we reviewed No Holds Barred. It's actually a pretty good film review too, and we only did it because it was whatever anniversary. The episode just happened. The episode we originally recorded happened to be around the anniversary of the film coming out.
Mm-hmm. And then went to Hulu that week or something like that.
Something like that, yeah, or like a DVD release or a Blu-ray release or something like whatever.
Hogan popped out of the limo. Was what's that smell? And then they were like, OBJ was.
Yo, shouts out to Deska, shouts out to Wayno. The only academics content I consume on a regular basis is specifically the ratchet nonsense with him and Adam 22. It's like I for some reason I in spurts I watched a call with them for like 3 hours. What like for the result to be like we all just look like scummy people. Like, why would you even bother? Why would you even engage with some of the nonsense that goes on here?
Well, it also could be a work.
When Adam 22 tells me that he has a porno tape with Selena Powell that he doesn't want to release until he wouldn't consider releasing until they're cool, I genuinely believe that happened. Because they're about action. Now, if most of the time when they're saying they're gonna do something, something happens.
But I don't think anything they said with the whole Suns players and OBJ was true. Not to me. So it was all fabrication, all work.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
The wide receiver for the Browns taking a little dookie from time to time makes perfect sense to me.
From the Browns to the Browns.
If you guys, shouts out to Frico Rico.
Hey, that's an amazing name.
Do a search for Frico Rico.
Nah, champ, not on this computer.
No, Frico Rico's a really ill. He's a really ill artist. He does a lot of like he makes like self-made comics. But he's done There's a couple of things. He recently did a collab with Mishka, streetwear brand. He's done like somebody's album cover. I can't remember who it was. But he's doing a lot of stuff in his style, and he's got an ill cartoon of OBJ that takes the Cleveland Browns. There's a lot going. Frico Rico, you're not a black wrestler, but salute to you, my guy. I wanted to talk. What's up?
So the Hurt Business, they came out, they stopped Retribution. So does that make them heels, or?
That's what I'm saying. Go ahead.
It makes them about that action, boss. They've been around, and the way they've been around is like we run this, right? That's that thing. And if that's that thing, even if they're the heels, they haven't been like cowardly heels. The niggas have been about the wreck the whole time. So I think it's still on brand with them as heels for them to come out, because it's like, nah, we run this. Not y'all. Y'all get out of here.
You know what it's like. You know what it's like, right?
Ninja. I'm listening.
It's like how gangs used to be, where this is my turf, and the only dirt that's going to get done on this turf is ours. And if you're going to come on my turf, homie, we got to see you walk you directly out my turf, cuz. But they got suits on.
What you doing on my turf, punk?
Well, real quick.
Got a message for Vince. Give it. Motherfucker, I said give it a message. Sorry.
Monday Night Ron and I figured out that Adam Pearce might be the leader of Retribution.
Really?
Kind of coincide. He gets more TV time as these attacks go on. And as you see, like, security's weak. He kind of wants the Hurt Business to volunteer, and then they're like, nah, we're gonna do this shit, and you're gonna owe us type of shit, like, which hopefully will lead to like they get a tag title shot, and then Shaw and Cedric team up to defeat the Street Profits or whoever if they end up merging the tag titles. I guess we'll talk to about that later after the. I think.
Yeah. Oh, it's because they have to have that match this week, or it just coming up tomorrow, right?
The Street one, but it was like what leads to that going forward. But I think the Hurt Business are, like I said, like they're about that action, and I think they were only heels with Apollo because they really didn't do much and Ricochet, but I could see them being tweeners going forward if.
Hey, nigga, the word is Ricochet on his way home. Somewhere.
It's a weird because remember when Gerald Briscoe got let go, the rumor was that there's going to be more people getting let go, and it hasn't happened yet. But there's been a lot of talk about who Vince and Bruce are high on and who they're not. I think you can tell that Aleister Black kind of seems like an afterthought. You know, he's there, but he ain't doing what he was doing, 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah, and that what's his name segment was awful.
Yeah, it was
underground. What they
Raw
underground strip mall fight club.
It's weird.
Nigga, Tyler Durden, world champion arena. Like
how much longer are we going to give this before we say, you know what? It's a wrap.
Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds.
I think it's only Shane McMahon is kind of running Raw.
But at some point, it should make sense, right? Like at some point, there should be a reason as to why at 10 o'clock, most of the show is going to be this one licensed fake hip hop song playing underneath this weird pseudo wrestling where Dolph Ziggler is kind of good at mat wrestling.
The Van Vendetta Arena.
Facts, big facts.
Them niggas are gonna fight. It ain't even gonna be a belt. They're gonna fight for a pair of Dior Jordans.
You can win these bread ones, and it's like
off my feet. I got the shattered backboard. I got the fragments, nigga. You know what
I think like the Volcano Braun Strowman match. I think they're hype.
I ain't gonna lie. I like it.
All right. Now this is the thing. It's been a long week. This was the Raw where Braun, he's still not, he used to be LeBron. We used to call him LeBron. He's not reached LeBron status yet. But shouts to him for rolling up to Raw Underground with the coal miner's gloves on, the cargo pants, and
he
still
he like Swole Guile.
Facts. He looks like Bald Guile. But the thing was, he rolls up to the door, and at the bouncer, he make Braun look like a child.
Well,
I'm just saying it's rare because especially afterwards, the Braun beat everybody up. But he stunned Raw. He stunned LeBron. He might be LeBron.
You talking about Manute Swole?
Facts. Big facts. Manute Swole
might be the name of the episode.
Manute, let me write this down. Manute Swole is a good one. That is, it's not going to happen, so I'm going to say it. But the next edition of Black Rasslin merch would be making a Manute Swole T-shirt. We would just need someone for maybe that's the Frico Rico T-shirt. If we could get him to make a thick ass Manute blocking shots or like breaking a thick ass Manute shattering a backboard with shattered back. Come on, the shit writes itself. But no. So Raw Underground, we've not seen Dabba-Kato. I think they said for a month.
Bumblebee Tuna.
Bobby Tunde.
Yeah, Bumblebee Tuna.
Bobby Condors. We've not seen Bobby Condors for a minute.
In the stats, it's been a month.
It's been a month now. The other stat is because there was a match that they announced that was supposed to happen the following week. This was a while ago, and it never happened. And that's the thing. They had the Braun beat up most of the Raw Underground segments was Braun eventually beating up whoever was in the ring. And then at the end, Dabba-Kato's the one like, yo, I got you, son. I got you. And Shane comes in, no. This match is too big. We got to do this shit next week.
Dana White, you ain't saying this shit for free.
Very good promoter shit. Although, I mean, I ain't got to pay no money. I got to pay Hulu to watch the shit.
Right. He's not selling this off of tonight. Like, you got to tune in next week. And that's what I mean. So by promoting this fight between Dabba-Kato and Braun, they're going to see how much it draws during that hour.
But you have to initially you have to hope that they actually do the match.
Well, I think so. The match you're speaking that didn't happen was Ivar and Dolph Ziggler. They promoted that the next week.
Right.
It didn't happen.
Somebody cooler minds prevailed because dear Lord, that'd have been awful.
But they still got Dolph still. That's what I'm saying. He's on every episode of Raw Underground. They go to Raw Underground, his shirt's off, but he's got jeans on and like a pair of Converse with some
double legs,
bandanas wrapped around his fists and shit. And he's on the ground shooting with people. And it's like, yo, that's Dolph. And then 5 minutes later, he's getting slammed into the mat.
Yeah, Keith Lee's. Yeah,
Crock and Roll Express. I hate that nigga, man. Get him out of here.
He's there. He's not going anywhere. As long as he ain't got nowhere else to go, Dolph is around.
On Nick.
The other thing that was crazy on Raw was this Asuka Mickey J. I guess the finish of the Asuka Mickey J. And we've not heard anything about this, have we?
Yeah, no, she's fine.
She's fine.
She's supposed to be fine. They said they sold it so well it threw off the ref. Is what I read.
All right, so I wasn't really. I will say I didn't watch a lot of the beginning of Raw. When I first started watching, I caught it in the middle, and it was actually during this match. And they were from what I heard that the match was solid. What I saw from the match was dope, but there was the one point where Mickey went for a kick, and I think she probably should have slapped her leg. Like it was silent when she kicked her. Yeah, you didn't hear that at all. And they played it like it was fine, and I was like, ugh, that didn't look good. Especially because Mickey's a good wrestler. I'm like, that didn't look good at all. And I think there was an enziguri moment. Somebody got kicked. There was a kick spot, and Mickey looked like she took a serious blow to the head.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. Nothing's ever been confirmed, and I guess the spot at the end was Asuka had her in the armbar shit, and Mickey was to roll her over for a 2 count or whatever. I heard everything from Mickey had been concussed to she rolled her shoulder when she did it, and the ref looked at it and was wilding out. Because when you see the camera catches Mickey's face, and Mickey's like, "What the fuck is going on here?" But I didn't know if that was Sandman being blacked out. I didn't know if like she was in shock because like Meltzer was even like, I don't know what the fuck happened. So she's fine. Everything is cool.
I heard she was fine, but that could be a work too. But that's what I read. She was fine.
After all this AEW Matt Hardy stuff, maybe they're trying to keep their stuff on the down low.
Yeah. They was like, "Is she hurt? Is she hurt?" The nigga was like,
"No, fuck it."
Yeah. That was good.
But real quick note, that whole match, Mickey just seemed off from the start.
Like I said, when I got after that point where there was that kick that made no sound, it definitely felt like she was lost or
sloppy and like trying to speed things up. Like, and I said this in the Discord, and a couple guys agreed that it just seemed like she was awful, doesn't have it anymore. And I'm like, is she right now like Jeff Hardy? She's a female Jeff Hardy, where like hang it up, go home.
Well, I mean, shit, Jeff Hardy just re-signed, so she might be the female Jeff.
And he says he wants to bring out Willow, and I was hoping for the midget.
Mad Mardigan.
I've not watched that movie in so long. I might have only watched it once.
Nigga, I watched Dune this week. It was amazing.
That's because we're getting ready, right?
Yeah.
All right.
We're headed to Arrakis. Get that the real spice.
Normally, when people tune into this podcast, they're looking for Some good pro wrestling talk. You know, we provide that to you.
This is Cal is
Weekly.
speaking in what I like to call the however tone.
However, I have a question. It's a question that me and Davis went through on Twitter. If you're a movie person, you might want to like fast forward another 8 to 10 minutes. But
welcome to Watch West with Cal and Davis.
But all right, Dune director, what's his name?
Denis Villeneuve.
Now, Denis.
Is that the new one?
Yes,
that's the nigga that's doing the new one. Okay,
yeah, it's supposed to drop in December. It's a Christmas time film. Assuming that, assuming that movie theaters are things. Tenet did not do what they wanted to do, so I will be surprised.
Who's surprised? I was surprised that niggas was surprised at the Tenet numbers.
Yeah,
I don't want to go to movie theaters. I'm not trying to go to the theater.
I know one nigga. Shout out to Diz. I know one nigga that's been to the movies to see Tenet.
Frazier went. My homie Frazier went to see Tenet last night, and there were 15 people in the movie theater. He went somewhere in Jersey. I forget where. It's farther north than I am.
He went for the love. He went on his own.
He's a big Christopher Nolan fan.
In a way, but like I'm not traveling an hour to the theater that's showing it and still risking getting COVID.
You're an hour away from a theater
that's showing it.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. There's only so many.
They're showing it in Minneapolis because that's.
I don't know what the percentage is, but they're only open. Not all theaters are open, especially for like AMC.
See, I live in between Baltimore and DC, so you know
you got them all over. Yeah. And then you're open
from one, but it's not showing it. I believe.
Yeah, I don't know. I've not checked. I'm a person who writes movies and TV. I've not checked if my local movie theater is open or not. I don't have any plans to go there anytime soon. I'll watch a bootleg before. I'm sorry,
anyway, Dune.
It's got. It is wrestling related. Dave Bautista is in this film, but
he looks dope too.
He does look dope. Zendaya, Timothy Chalamet,
Josh Brolin.
So Josh Brolin is playing Jean-Luc Picard, right?
Thanos is playing Picard. But the question is, what if it's whack? What if Dune 2020 is whack? So are you ready for that?
Well, see, the problem is it's 2 movies, right?
Yes, and that's what I'm going to start with right now. Right now, Denis Villeneuve, probably a top 5 current director right now, is smart enough not to make this one movie with all its source material. He's going to make
because if you watch the old movie, them niggas hit the fast forward button at the end. The third act of that joint is 7 minutes long.
That's David Lynch, though, right?
Right.
Yeah. David Lynch. There's no concept of anything in his Lynch movie. He'll do whatever.
The Jedi for that.
But all right. But this is the perfect question, though. This film is going into it. You know, it's a 2-part. It's a 2-parter. What if it's whack?
It's not.
What if part 1 is whack? You have to be ready for the concept of this film. They've got the shit on their. It's in the nose. Where's the? It's in their nose. There were people in the comp. What's that mean? It looks weird. If you're not prepared for Denis doing Dune, and you go to the theater, it's 2 hours and every minute of some weirdo sand shit.
Let me tell you. All right, so the OG Dune, right?
Mm-hmm.
The source material for the OG Dune is so fire that the movie Dune was the only thing that was good about the OG Dune was the set pieces and the casting, right? So they told the story horribly. They only told pieces of the story. The witches were undersold as what they do. Their little martial art was way undersold. And even with that, because the what is it, the Hazmat Jezerit or whatever the witches is called. It's like the white version of the joints from Wakanda. You know what I'm saying? All them bald headed, you know what I mean? So
the Royal Guard, essentially.
Yeah. No, so, but they're like their martial art is so supposed to be so slick that like they're so fast that they looks like they teleporting, and none of the witches look like they could fight. So if they start bringing that into what they taught the niggas out in the deck, look, man, y'all niggas.
All I'm saying is,
it's gonna be hard, yo. It's gonna be tough.
Davis,
too big to fail, baby.
Prepare yourself. Just prepare. You have to prepare yourself for the idea, the cons, and it's a very.
Did you feel any way about Blade Runner 2049?
All right. Where was I?
Now, Ryan Gosling is fucking silently through the ruins of Los Angeles with a fucking dope coat.
I'm gonna say this.
I heard that movie was good. I didn't see it.
Oh, it is.
Dave Bautista's in that too.
Yep.
Brother fam, thank you very much for saying what you just said. All right. I may not look like I know a lot, but I've been to places. One place I've been to is Atlanta, Georgia. I went on a trip to the Ant-Man sequel set. Now, usually, I've been to a number of different set visits. Sometimes this is totally like inside the Hollywood studio with, these guys that listen to watch wrestling. But normally when I go to sets, it's either like a mix of outlets or sometimes it's like more skewed to urban or, like a lot of black folk or whatever. This was like one of
movie culture from a nigga perspective.
Big facts. No, exactly. Watch
Hear us, David.
No, but this was one of the biggest really Marvel film nerd set visits that I've gone to, and it was right around the time where I think one of the first Blade Runner 2049 trailers was hitting, and I was interested. So I'm a fly on the wall. I don't know these people from Adam, so I kind of played the background just to see what's good and feel out the conversation. And the one thing people were saying, when the trailer dropped earlier that week, they were like, "Who is this movie for? Who's really trying to see?" Because Blade Runner was already that's the epitome of a cult classic. That film, nobody was knowing what the fuck that was when it came out.
Blade Runner was for a film class, so yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It grew over time, and even over time, the film has changed, and there's so many different cuts to it. To be a person that's that obsessive, to really be ready for Blade Runner 2049, which is a beautiful return to this very vivid universe. 4 motherfuckers saw that shit. Nobody, and the people who saw it loved it, but nobody. It didn't make an impact. I don't know what the stats. I can't imagine it blew the box office away. It was really quiet. It was quiet for that film.
So here's what it is. It's a guy like Denis Villeneuve.
Mm-hmm. And shouts out Batista.
Who wants to make big blockbusters but doesn't want to do it for Marvel or for Star Wars.
This is what happens.
So he picks sci-fi genres and remakes them or adds sequels in the case of Blade Runner 2049, and then he's like, I'm going to make something grand and epic with a material that is, a very cult classic and can continue in a way where technology is better now. The cinematography is better now.
Yes.
And that's what he's doing with Dune. And who's it for? It's for guys like me who want to see Ryan Gosling say less and just rude and fucking punch and shoot shit. Like people like me who love
drama. Who's Ryan Gosling in this movie?
He's Officer K, I believe.
He's the new Harrison Ford.
He's essentially.
I thought I was asking. I thought Ryan Gosling was in the goddamn Dune.
No. But I'm gonna shift this back to pro wrestling. I'm gonna say this
a connection between the two. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna say this.
Are you gonna talk about Dave Bautista throwing dirt on Rocky's name?
No, because because we have to segue out. There's a world that's gonna pay me to have a podcast where I talk about the connections between Denis Villeneuve in Hollywood and Paul Heyman in pro wrestling, but we can't have that conversation. Nobody cares. There's 4 people out there that really care about that conversation, and we really do have to.
3 of them are right here.
Exactly.
But no, did y'all hear that story about Batista saying that The Rock wasn't that good of an actor?
No, I didn't actually. I've been out the world though, so I don't know what's going on.
The Rock, he makes action movies. I mean, he's
right,
good for those.
And this is my problem with Dwayne, and I refuse to call him The Rock when he's an actor.
I hate you wrestling niggas when y'all do that, man.
Because there's
CM Punk.
There's two people. Rock is WWE. Outside of that is Dwayne. That's the guy who does the $7 behind me as I'm taking these.
Hey, if it ain't broke, that motherfucker paid too.
Dwayne is the guy who
action star in the world.
The same movie over and over again.
Look,
they're entertaining.
That sounds like Tom Cruise to me.
Or Tom Cruise released it Eyes Wide Shut, Magnolia.
My guy. Tom Cruise.
No, put out that actor.
It's 8 Mission Impossibles.
Fact. That's fact.
They just recorded 2 back to back,
and they're fire. But the thing is, Tom Cruise made Top Gun, and then he said, "I'm gonna do that in a car," and made Days of Thunder like 3 years later. Like that's what happened.
Yeah, and see what bothers me about Dwayne is that he doesn't try to explore outside of genres anymore. He came in, he did the action thing, he got away from that. He did Be Cool, he did Southland Tales, he did a few things that flopped in a way.
He made all them buddy movies with Kevin Hart, which are the same movie.
Well, that's to say, but he showed his range in those early movies, and then after the kid movies, they're like, this guy's going to be a megastar. Then they gave him franchises. He became Franchise Viagra, where he added something the Fast and
I think that's the problem. I think he needed to get some butt in the movie, like one time. Just be like, hey, look, you smell what the Rock cooking. You know what I mean? One time it'll be straight. You know what I mean? Throw him in.
But Batista's not wrong by calling him not that good of an actor. I say he's not that good of an actor. He can be at times, but it's a lot of it's focused in or knowing to his strengths, which at the end of the day, in the Fast and the Furious movies, especially Hobbs and Shaw, he plays Dwayne Johnson in that movie.
But even if he's playing Dwayne Johnson, Dwayne The Rock Johnson playing Dwayne The Rock Johnson in Hobbs and Shaw is way more entertaining than some of these other pro wrestler turned movies. Like he's genuinely an entertaining person. So even that's the Ryan Reynolds formula. Ryan Reynolds in any film. So
I just want my goddamn Roman Reigns Aquaman buddy cop comedy. That's all I want.
Yeah,
that's all I want.
Yeah, I need Roman to. I'm hoping that Roman's got some film whenever the world figures it out.
Someone like that,
huh?
Will probably be like Lobo.
Look at you with the obscure comic references. Shouts out to anybody who know who Lobo is. That's early 90s. No, but there's a couple of
those Lobos.
There was the piece of shouts out to Matth actually sending an email while we're recording, even though he's not here to remind us to talk about Barry Scott, who passed away this week.
Rest in peace, the voice of what's it called?
He was a voice of Impact.
Yeah, Impact.
And the NBA. I guess he passed away on Thursday. I hadn't even realized that he passed. He'd they said he'd been featured a lot. He's been featured on the intro of the October 1st, 2005 episode of Impact, which was the first episode to air on Spike TV. I probably watched that. I wasn't watching Impact, but I remember tuning into that.
I didn't watch it live, but I watched the recording of it on like TV.
Word. That was one of I got back into watching wrestling regularly around that time. Because I remember tuning back in for the Taker Shawn 1 at what was it, Mania 25, and
I was 5 and I was 10 years old. So if you want to,
this man, a whole baby on the goddamn podcast. But Barry was 65 at the time of his death. I guess at the time of this recording, we don't know what his cause of death was, but he was survived by his wife. He had 3 adult children and 2 sisters. 247sports.com says he was a Nashville native and was the founder and producing artistic director of the American Negro Playwright Theater at Tennessee State University. He was an accomplished actor, writer, producer, director, and voiceover artist. He did work for ESPN. We mentioned the NBA as well as the NFL, ABC, CBS, NBC, Disney, Discovery. He's done a lot of work, a lot of theater work. again, you know, he was the voice of Impact for a moment in time. I know a lot of the pro wrestling world was shouting him out, giving him his props. Someone else that needs to get their props this week is Will Hobbs. Another brother, a veteran of the indie scene. He officially signed to AEW this week. If you've been watching Dark, from what I'm understanding, I was looking at, because I know the name, but I don't really know Will Hobbs like that. But I guess since July, he's been featured on a number of episodes of Dark. It looks like damn near weekly, but he also
there for a while, yeah.
Yeah, I see. He wrestled on the AEW Saturday Night Dynamite. He was he lost to Darby Allin.
Oh, that match.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but he's been putting in work. It looks like he signed on the 16th, and he was also featured on that episode with, I guess, John Moxley introduced Will and Darby as his teammates for whatever.
I think three of them are teaming up to fight Cage, Ricky Starks, and one else. I think maybe Archer. I think, but it seems like they're going to try to maybe use this as a push for Will Hobbs, which again they need it since their TV is lacking diversity.
And he can go. I mean, he's a vet. He's been around for a minute, so hopefully he's one of those guys that it's one of those dream stories with AEW where they can go, but they're also not really known. So you really have a moment to really make a star who can actually be capable in the ring.
AEW niggas can work the indies still?
I think it's a case by case basis.
It's depending on who it is, probably.
Yeah.
Swole is wrestling La Rosa Negra tomorrow.
Where?
Or tonight, as y'all hear this. Mission Pro Wrestling in Texas.
Wow. I think some of them can. I think
Negra, the one who Tessa called the nigger.
Right.
Or nigga.
And there was some spitting involved.
Earmuffs.
Earmuffs, Davis. No, but I think I only go based off of the talk around the initial signings, and there was a lot of there was a whole Moxley thing where he couldn't be on TV here when he was in Japan, and when they come here, they're not able to be on TV, or they're not able to do anything there. But Kenny Omega was also AAA champion while being
all together.
That's what I'm saying. I think I think it's more of a case by case situation. If something tells me somebody like Swole, who has TV exposure but isn't like a mainstay on anything yet, she probably has a little more leverage, or they probably allow her a little more in this instance because
I think she still does GCW stuff. So
yeah,
I think they pick and choose probably who can. And like when PWG was running, I think that a lot of the guys that were because of Excalibur, they're kind of using that, I think, as a feeder for like NXT and Evolve in a way. I think that's what they're going to do with PWG going forward.
Yeah, and I'm going to say something. I'm not saying it in any way to disrespect Big Swole, but I think a lot of it, when I've heard about who's signing and who's more exclusive, or who is going to be coming to TV and not be able to do anything else, I always looked at it as like who AEW is planning on really solidifying. When it was Jericho and Moxley, it made sense because they're not doing anything else anywhere else. So it made sense to me. But I think if they feel you might not be necessary in terms of like the day to day or like the week to week of building towards, they might give you a little more leeway. And stuff like that can only help Swole. If she pops off in a place where there's actual fans watching wrestling and then comes back to AEW.
About to say, it could be used a thing since they're only 1 day a week, where if they allow people to do 1 to 2 indie shows in that same week, either before or after, it kind of builds up to then tune in when you see that person on Dynamite or the pay-per-view. But and that's the whole thing where were they trying to kill the indies by launching themselves and not teaming up with anyone? Like, could they have been in NWA this whole time, or could they have been in ROH this whole time?
Right.
They could have, but they wanted to branch out on their own and have exclusive people, and they took a lot of talent with them from places like that and MLW specifically, where they took MJF from them, and look what's happening now. It's not like they're depleted, but not let those guys and girls go back out there for when you're only working 1 day a week or two with the dark tapings. It's kind of a waste.
Right. Actually, before there's like a couple of news bits, but I wanted to get your guys' opinion because we talked about Seth earlier, but we didn't mention we didn't talk about the Seth and Dominic cage match that was on Raw this week. But I don't fuck all that shit. I want to know from y'all at the end of that match, not only did we see Seth attack Buddy, so I know at some point Buddy's probably going to be going heel, but
face.
I'm sorry, but there was a moment where Ray's daughter, there you go, shouts out, fuck Hogan. She acknowledges Buddy outside, and there's some people who think that instead of Buddy turning face, that Ray's daughter might turn heel, because there was that moment where Seth walks out the cage and he comments to Ray's wife. He's like, hell of a job you did with Dominic, hopefully he says it, and he's like, hopefully she turns out better than he did.
Yeah. So kind of like a Mary Magdalene kind of.
Right? You could look at it as like there's some seeds being sown for her, possibly betraying her family. If they're going to extend this storyline, that could be a good move to it.
Does this story need to extend? Is what you're kind of asking, right?
I thought we were all hoping that Samoa Joe and Seth got to.
That's what I pitched, but they.
Joe might be done too, son.
Where is he? Do we know?
He's on commentary.
But like he wasn't this week.
This week, MVP took that spot.
He wasn't here this week.
MVP was an old.
Be done, son.
You said they were going to cut people, Cal. Maybe he's.
That's a heartbreaker.
Well, it's they were actually doing, like, most of the people I'm thinking they're cut is going to be like the Viking Raiders at some point. Aleister Black. There's talk that maybe it might be Andrade. I feel bad for Andrade. He
won't because his girl Charlotte Flair.
Yeah,
he's
protected.
But his girl ain't there right now.
That don't matter. That don't matter.
Who is
protected?
What I'm saying is, before COVID, it was Andrade and Charlotte Flair on the same brand, with Ric Flair being around as well. Now it's Rick is old as shit, and he got kicked. He got punted. He's gone. We're not going to see Rick for at least a year. Charlotte had the surgery, and then apparently she's doing TV that's going to keep her off of WWE programming. Right now, if you're trying to cut and there's nobody else to really save in Andrade day to day, he's one of the names that has been rumored that Vince doesn't really see it. There's talk that he would go Angel Garza before Andrade.
And he was like, I want him instead.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, they racist.
Which is crazy.
Racist.
But it's crazy. What's up?
He's like, look at this one. This one speaks to you.
But you know what it is? It's funny because it's not like they're not signing people. Like Wade Barrett just got signed.
That's the crazy thing.
But he just took Mauro Ranallo's job.
Yeah.
He did, but because somebody specifically asked, like, are you ring ready? And he said, look, I didn't retire. I didn't step away from the ring because I was injured. He's like, I could go. I'm 100%. But he said, my passion is commentary. I want to be on the commentary side of things right now, which you got to respect. But at some point, it could be bad news. And I mean, Wade wasn't a bad hand in the ring.
Oh, I actually liked him, and that's what I mean. Like, he's one of the two people who in the 2010s that didn't get a title run that I wish they would have.
Yeah.
The other one is Ryback, just because of the whole Goldberg effect. And it would have been a long one. I'm just saying, like, he should have beat CM Punk that one match, then lost it the next night. But that would ruin the Punk streak of the longest days. But no, Wade Barrett was number one for a guy they didn't give the title to. And it makes sense because he wasn't injury prone, but the injuries he got were bad, and it derailed the momentum right when he had it.
Right. He was awesome. The last thing I remember Wade Barrett doing was being in I think it was a shoot relationship with Alicia Fox. I remember they covered it on Total Divas because it was what they had dated but were broken up, but then she saw him backstage or something and rekindled.
Well, you know what's funny is like he'd be perfect for Raw Underground because he was the whole bare knuckle fighter.
That would be dope.
He had those vignettes where like he's fighting guys in jeans and like a dark room, it's like that's basically what Raw Underground is.
Yeah, but at some point, Raw Underground, because like this week was a perfect example. Like it starts out with people scrapping, and then it just becomes, oh, this guy is the largest person in this room. He's going to beat everybody up, and then we're just going to go back to the ring. Like it's when Raw Underground first started, it was intriguing because it was so new. I didn't know what they were going to do next. It sounds like they didn't know what they were going to. We don't see the dancing women anymore. It's none of the smoke. It's just this very brightly lit, very shitty looking.
Before it wasn't really, yeah.
They sucked what was cool out of it, and they didn't replace it with anything that seemed of substance. So I don't know what the future holds. Does Raw Underground have a place? I don't know what this is leading towards. It doesn't seem like there's any point aside from people just scrapping.
I think the problem becomes these niggas trying to make fake legit fighting is trash, right?
Yeah. That's what you guys talked about.
And then they keep doing those stupid camera cuts. I hate the camera cuts.
It's bad.
That's they cut with each punch. It looks no one knows how to do it. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to make fake MMA, and it's no. You know what I'm saying? However, if they can salvage it with Bumblebee Tuna versus LeBron, things might be dope.
We'll see. I fingers again. If they remember to do the match, we'll have fingers crossed.
Sounds like they got Sam Hargrave, one of the fight coordinators, to shoot some of this action.
You mean the movie Raid?
Yeah.
Raid,
but they need your mans though. Oh, what is his name?
Ungbot? Tony Jaa?
Oh yeah, Tony Jaa.
Is that his name?
The star of
the dude that was in what was that shit? The Ronda Rousey Mark Wahlberg movie?
Mile 22?
Yeah.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, that dude. That dude's fire. You need that dude he's in the Ip Man shit.
No, that's Donnie Yen.
He's fired too. No, the dude from Mile 22 is what I'm talking. Because there's that one scene in the hospital where it's him and like the two or three guys, and he's got the handcuff on, and he fucked everybody up. He fucked the whole hospital up.
The Pete Berg movie about Pete Berg. So,
spoiler alert: it's not that good of a film.
Well,
but
it's
the action, but it's one of the two Mark Wahlberg movies I watched that year where there were shots of cascading bullets hitting the ground. Like they wanted you to know that they wasted mad fake bullets in this film. But when it got to the hand-to-hand combat with dude is he's
controlled that. Yeah.
He's Jackie Chan, but not trying to be funny. It's just all skill. It's just all skill.
The Raid movies as he does that, but they need a fight coordinator for Raw Underground. That's what's going to save it.
That's the shit you would see if you watched the World Star Fight compilations. Before the fight compilation, it would be a scene from one of those movies, and then it would fizzle out, and it'd be like,
the best right now. The best thing done with real life fights is when anybody gets knocked out and they play the Windows shutdown tone. They get knocked out. That is the best thing on the internet right now. And I cry. I cry every time.
And you could probably find it on Freddie Gibbs's IG stories.
Yeah, the best location on Black Instagram right now is Freddie
Gibbs' facts. Speaking of Black folks, I'm surprised we didn't really get into it earlier. I know me and Fam had a convo offline about it, but it was dope to see Sasha Banks doing whatever she's doing in the upcoming season 2 of The Mandalorian. You see her for a quick second
while they're talking about Jedi.
Right? Yeah, they're specifically talking about Jedi and trying to spot them, and you see her eyeing Mando from this. It was a really dope moment, because then she disappears. It makes me. I watched season 1 of The Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. I'm not spoiling it, but I mean because it's such an homage to westerns,
spaghetti westerns. Yeah,
it's a slower, some of those episodes, they're 42-minute episodes depending, and not a lot will happen. when I first started watching The Mandalorian, it was kind of like when they figure out like the 2-hour cut of this season 1, that movie's going to be dope.
I'm trying to figure out, are they doing the a whole bunch of different directors again this year?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm going to assume so. Yeah, I'm going to assume so. It's under Jon Favreau as the showrunner, but yeah.
No, they don't try to have a Sam Esmail directing an entire season.
I'm wondering if maybe it makes more sense to do. The story can be, and that's my thing with Sasha, because it's like I don't know. From that clip in the trailer, I don't know if Sasha's going to be on a lot of the episodes or she's going to be focused in 1 or 2 in the beginning, and maybe we don't see her again. I want to see her do a lot. I think she could have a good career as an actress.
Thing is, I kind of don't think they would show her
if she was
a one-off, because I don't remember them showing what's the comedy nigga?
Bill Burr.
I don't remember them showing him or featuring
in the trailer.
In the trailer for season 1.
Trailers almost showed nothing though. That was the whole point.
I'd have to go back and see. I remember it being a big thing
when he was actually on.
When his episode came, I feel like he was getting interviewed and everything. But I honestly don't remember the trailer for The Mandalorian. I wouldn't be surprised. But I in watching the show, like Gina Carano was around, but she was only in like maybe 3 or 4
but
of
she's still around.
She's still around. I'm just wondering, based off of what we're seeing with Sasha's character, how much is she going to be in? And again, when did she film this?
I was just about to say, when was the last time she was off for a month or 2?
Before she came back
forever.
Yeah, but did season 2 filming start then? Is the thing. I think it might have.
It sounds like you got to make a note for when you.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about
the stats.
When I do the stats after, I'll have to look it up because
I know. I think the timeline was Bayley and Sasha lose the tag titles. There was that dust up, and she was gone because remember she was on vacations with an S.
Remember we were like, "Why is she gone?" Because
yeah,
she's healthy, and we knew it. We actually said that, so. Yeah, and now we know.
The thing was, it was confirmed that she had taken time when they did the special when she came back. Because I remember watching that. There was a whole thing. She was in the trailer with Bayley before she reappeared on Raw with the wig, and she had to snatch the wig off. She had the other colored hair or whatever. But there was a time frame where they were like, oh, we saw Sasha spotted at some filming studio, but all the conversations were the next video game. It could have been a situation where she was filming stuff for this, and it was in between the schedule. Because my only thing is, if she's in a lot of the show, she would have had to been gone for a lot of time, and I don't know if she was gone for a long enough time in between these vacations and other things.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is I think she started filming right as season 1 was coming out. I think. Because it's like
they had to, because they were pretty much locked. They were locked for a while.
Yeah.
So who knows? I'm skeptical about how much she's in. I want her to be in a lot of the show, but I guess we'll have it's drops October 30th, I believe, is when it premieres. So we've got some time to see, and hey, fingers crossed. Maybe we'll get maybe Sasha will be doing the promo rounds, and she'll be able to talk a little bit more about everything. The last couple of years of her life or what have you.
You tell me about you and Pam. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna speak it into existence. One of these days, interviewing a heel Bayley would be an amazing get for in any. Give me 15 minutes with heel Bayley.
Can you imagine, in full character, why do you guys even have a black wrestling podcast? Why can't it just be a wrestling podcast? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we have a white guy on the payroll.
But it would end up being her talking about her favorite episode. Bayley watches Martin. You can't tell me she's never watched an episode of Martin.
That because you see that big future behind her, huh? Very bright.
I'm just saying. I didn't realize that I saw a random news story that Dwayne The Rock Johnson's daughter, Simone, she's undergoing her third knee surgery.
Yeesh.
She signed in
Was she an
February
athlete?
2020.
Was she an athlete before pro wrestling?
That's what it had to seem like. She probably had to have a surgery, like either playing sports in high school or something, and then
like volleyball, field hockey, something like that.
Soccer or something. Yeah.
Is she tall?
She only just reported. She definitely has a athletic build. Just trying to see if they mentioned anything about her. Yeah, this one article when she signed, there was a whole press release that was dropped, but it was more about her being the first fourth generation superstar, and who she's working with. It doesn't really go into what she was doing beforehand. I guess I'm gonna assume she was into it, or maybe her dad kept her doing stuff. But yeah, third sounds crazy for her to only have been signed in February. I don't remember hearing anything about the other two at all either. So who the fuck knows what's gonna happen?
But yeah, this makes me skeptical that she'll ever have a match maybe on the main roster. I think she'll maybe have a few in NXT, and if it like lingers, then
we'll see. I mean, again, it's also one of those things where you always heard the horror stories about people being deemed accident prone or injury prone, and being held back because of that. Who knows what if this is her third knee surgery and she's barely out of Performance Center, who knows what's going to happen, or in their eyes, when she's actually able to go to a main roster.
Barely even like 21 or 22.
No, she's young. Yeah. She might have been 18 when she signed, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, she'd be fair. Whatever, 19 at the oldest right now. It's sad either way, but hopefully she recovers. Finally, in a random piece of news that we spotted before we started recording, I don't know who's playing WWE 2K Battlegrounds, but there is a random image of Tessa Blanchard, a woman who looks like Tessa Blanchard, in the game. I guess the assumption is that she's signing. Do we think she did motion capture for this?
I hope so.
I don't know.
I mean, is she signing?
It would make sense. I mean, why wouldn't the WWE?
I don't know. Y'all see the
look?
NXT
They made it.
Yeah, I saw that. I was just seeing highlights on Instagram that
trying to figure out who this is. It Amel French?
I don't know what that is.
Amale?
Emily?
Emily?
How do you spell it?
Amale.
I think Ron said she was
Amale.
Amale French Hope.
Yep.
She black?
Je ne sais quoi. She looks like it.
This whole shit is in French. She's something.
Yeah, but she's on WWE and
yeah, her bio is first French female in WWE. Wrestling, West Side Extreme Wrestling, longest champion. She definitely looks like she's mixed with. I can't tell what her.
She look half black, half nigga to me. Baby.
Half black, half. Hold up. Before we get at it, I want to see.
Something I'm fascinated about Will Hobbs, just that he seems kind of reminds me of like Monty Brown a little bit. That'd be like best scenario, I guess, if he turned out to be like him. But also, I mean, probably seems like a better Mojo Rawley at the moment because a similar build and just like an explosive style. From the gifts I've seen of him is that like he's a powerhouse wrestler. AEW kind of needs more guys like that at the moment as well.
There's a post. There's a post on. I don't think I'm going to mention the name of this forum, but they title it the first black and new NXT UK black female wrestler. But I can't find any And he like it's hard trying to confirm the nationalities of.
Like I said, I think
some
Ron
pro wrestlers
that she was Moroccan, is what he said.
That would make sense. Yeah, half French, half Moroccan wrestler. This is from Black Wrestling Alliance in 2019. She was a 7-year veteran at that time. Who wrestled in France, Switzerland, USA, and Germany. She was invited to try out for the WWE in Germany back in November of 2018. And then she started wrestling at Westside Extreme Wrestling in the UK, winning. She was wrestling in Fatal 4-Ways to win the championship there, and was also wrestling Toni Storm, and she beat her for the WXW Women's Championship. So yeah, that's dope. That's really dope to see. I like that kind of stuff. I didn't know about her. She will get followed. I don't know if she's anybody's black wrestler, but Davis and Fan, do y'all have a black wrestler of the week?
Being the nigga that Booker T and Mark Henry want to be at this point in their lives, Brother MVP is putting niggas on. He's not being a gatekeeper, but he is leading the way and shining a light for other black wrestlers to come behind him. Pause. So yeah, for that, Montel Vontavious Porter. Shout out.
Right. You got a black wrestler, Davis?
Yeah, I was kind of picking between two, but I'll go along the same thing. I'll pick Cedric Alexander because he got a run over Ricochet, and that end segment against Retribution when the business shows up. That was, I think, one of the best moments of the year so far. The best show closing moments in a long time.
Facts. They've not had a lot of that. It felt like, again, it reminded me of the Horsemen the first time they started interacting with the NWO, or like when WWE started banning against Nexus. You know, that just like those real, just like putting a line in the sand type shit was really cool. There's a lot of dope shit that black people did this week on the low. I would love to make Keith Lee my black wrestler of the week, but I'm not a fan of the singlet that they've got him wearing. And actually, I will say this before I get my black wrestler. I don't know who needs to show Vince McMahon the tape of the 2020 Royal Rumble. They just played it not too long ago. It was the beginning of quarantine. I found the pictures, the whole picture of Brock Lesnar and Keith Lee. Both of them have no shirts on. And I don't know what Vince thinks Keith's body looked like, but there's no way you can tell me that a shirtless Keith Lee looks worse than a shirtless Brock Lesnar.
Or a shirted what's the not the Viking Raider nigga, Otis.
Otis ain't got no shirt on?
With that young shirt. He got a shirt on him.
Otis having triplets.
Yeah,
in about 2 weeks. He got a 2-year-old baby still sitting in his belly right now.
Somebody never mind.
I'm gonna have to
Hey, yo, if you know where I was going right there. Shout out to my nigga GQ Smooth, you know what I'm saying, Trey from Boys in the Hood. Go ahead, no, I'm sorry.
This man is insane. I might have to give. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna give Chris Bay my black wrestler of the week.
Ultimate finesse.
If you go on the black wrestling Twitter, there's just some there's a couple of sequences that shit that East Bay Funk, yo, that shit. The sequence is dope. My man is doing 619s in the middle of this. Man, look, you can't tell me that.
That was nice. I will mention to Big Swole for being extra horny when our old man was on the screen.
That's how you ride for your people, yo. I love to see it.
So he said, I believe the tweet was, he can hurt my business anytime he wants. Shout out to her for being extra horny on the timeline.
Demon Time. She was on Demon Time appropriately. appropriately. Before we get out of here, can y'all please let the people know where they can find y'all on social media?
Hey man, IlFam790 your social media choice, but more importantly at Where's Buffy, where'sbuffy.com. Every single weekend. Shout out to at Matth Damon. Shout out to the Warriors.
Thanks.
You can find me on IG at Davis Colton DC, on Twitter at Davis_Colton1. Real name, authentic, no real name, no gimmicks type of stuff.
Damn.
Davey Boy Drip.
Obi White. I'm sorry. Obi White.
Real name, no gimmicks.
That's facts. I'm at Cal on Twitter, at Black Rasslin on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. BlackRasslin.com is the website. Once again, BlackRasslin.com is the website. And as always, you can find the Black Rasslin podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. We should be there. We try and drop every Friday. We've been pretty good with dropping audio Friday. The video comes at some point. But again, I've been trying to make sure that we get these stats that Davis is putting together along with the dope visuals from this. Shouts out to trying to get that going. Again, peace to Matth. You hear Spirit, my brother. We'll catch all of y'all next week. Hopefully we have some special stuff for you. Keep you posted. Peace.
Go Cowboys.
Yeah.